Welcome gym trainers. I'm your host, Gym Leader Mia, and today we are going to do some girly stuff and make up Team Mystic. So if you're Team Valor or Instinct, you'll just have to wait until next week where we do some makeup for you as well. So we're going to do 3 different styles, hopefully of each. So first we're going to do just something really casual, like I'm going to go and walk on the beach and I still want to represent my team because I'm going to take down some gyms and be awesome and beat everyone. I'm a Team Mystic member, so I might be a little bit biased towards this style because that's actually what I do. And then we're going to have one if you go to dinner but you know your group's going to go Pokemon catching or hatching next, like in the next few hours or something. And the other one is if you're full blown a Pokemon party and you want to rock either the Blanche look or just have a loud Pokemon look in general. It's very hot here today because I live in the tropics, so there's a few hacks for that. So I use the Avon Glimmer Stick, which has 2 different types of blues on each side. I also use Kohl, which is by Revlon New York, because I've danced for the last 14 years and it doesn't come off. Like this thing you can swim with and your makeup will still be intact. But provided you don't swim, this is quite fine. I quite like the dark blue. So we're going to start with that. I'm not wearing any foundation at the moment because, like I said, it's very hot in the tropics and you can't have a full face of makeup and go for a big power walk because it's just all going to sweat off. So we're going to start off just by... This is from the Body Shop, but you can use any color palette that is just a natural color. And I'm going to use just a very, very light color to apply to both my eyes. It's just a base color to take that bit away. I'll do both eyes a different type of that color so you can see which one works best for you. It's because, well, it's nice and sparkly, but you don't have to use a sparkly one. I also have just a matte color. You can even use a bit of bronzer or lightener, but a matte color is probably best if you're trying to take away the shine, or if you've just made peace with it then glitter all up. So you can even rub a little bit with your fingers. It's really just to make a palette because it is so hot and you're not going to apply foundation. So we're just going to use the blue eyeliner. On the other side, I'll show you what a different shape might look like if you just do it from the inside and a little bit darker. If you're going to walk maybe on the esplanade or the waterfront at night, you might want to accentuate it even a little bit more. And then you can use either a little blue line at the bottom, and this is where I really just go from the middle in. Blue is a bit tricky at the bottom because it can very much quickly look like someone just gave you blue eye. So you can do that little bit at the bottom, very, very subtle, and just rub it a bit with your finger, and you can even complete that line up. What I prefer to do if I go out in the day, and I don't generally wear makeup in the day, but especially on weekends, if I wanted to go somewhere just to make myself look pretty after a long week, then just have a little bit of black there at the bottom. This look, for example, I would rather do if I am wearing a bit of foundation. I wouldn't necessarily go in the day just for a casual power walk on the Strand or the Esplanade of the waterfront or even in a park with this look. I'll probably rather wear something a bit more subtle like on this side. If you want to go for some drinks in the afternoon and afterwards you're going for some Pokemon catching, then you can always apply that little bit of white just on that line to give that icy look. And then if you want to go, and I will do the whole look with foundation as well, but if you just want that little bit of extra iciness, just put like a glittery line at the bottom. And that's actually the CoverGirl Star Wars brand. If you don't want to do too much glam, then just a cherry lip color. It will have a bit of a gloss now, and that's from Max Factor. Maybelline, from the Body Shop, or my mom's like Elizabeth Arden packs that she doesn't want a specific thing on. Something like eyeliner I got from Lancome, because I definitely would recommend a good foundation, because someone like me that doesn't wear foundation very often, it really is worth it then when I do wear that it's distinctively different. But that depends on who you are. And I mean, you might want to have a bit of mineral powder over the top. Dramatizes by using mascara. I usually use Max Factor, but today I actually have two Maybellines, and this one is the waterproof one, which I actually don't like, waterproof mascara, but the lower lash one has a very thin brush, so even if I don't want to use mascara for the day, when I use some color at the bottom, then I do just like to color that little bit in. Taking it a step further, you can also color in your eyebrows properly. So the easiest and cheapest way to do that is actually by using the darker brown on your palette, on your natural color palette. And I did that, but because this one is sparkly, it doesn't actually sparkle, but it gives my eyebrows a grayer look. So I used to have like a matte brown that worked really well for my eyebrows, but now I use the Cabral, which is from Benefit. They do a lot of like retro style makeup as well, and this I specifically bought for my channel when I do my chit chat videos, just to outline my eyebrows a little bit. So I've put foundation on. I use the Double Wear Maximum Cover from Estee Lauder. The reason for that is that things like BB cream and a lot of other light foundations, yes, it does provide a palette for you to paint your magic on, but I don't wear makeup very often, so when I do, I really like it to be a dramatic effect and have that really clean cut palette look. This I'm just going to put on a very light lipstick just so I don't look super creepy. So this is the Magic Stick. This is a white eyeliner, which I will show you very shortly what to do with. So number one, have a white eyeshadow. I bought this pack, which is just a 4-pack of purples, which looks lovely, but we're just going to what I said earlier about just having some form of a base color on the eye. And since Team Mystic is all about ice, it's good to use that white to really hit that theme home. And especially because unless you're going to properly cosplay Blanche, you're not going to have white hair, which means this is probably the best way to go. Now, again, just a little bit of blending, and you can also do that just with your blush brush. Before I forget, usually I also like to put just that little bit of white at the bottom, and it's not to give you a creepy look, and it's very, very slight, and that's just so that, oh sure, but okay, I use a purple on that side, so we're just gonna go with purple now. I used the wrong side of the brush, and that's fine too. That's just to give it a bit of a magical look. Then you have options like this. So this is a green palette, but it has some silver in it. Now I had a Twilight 2-pack, which was just a silver and a dark purple, I think, and that works really well if you want to use that instead on that top bit. But I'm gonna use some black eyeliner. I'm going to use that blue that I was talking about. If you just want something really simple, you can do just either of these eyes with a white, and that's perfectly good because you definitely get that icy cold theme of that already. You can do either that, and with the other eye, if you just want that little bit of blue but you don't really want to use that as an eyeliner, you can just put a little bit of color on the inside, especially for people like me with small eyes. It really makes a difference to have a bit of darkness on the inside. So, and then the most dramatic of this look is having a white pencil and putting that on the inside of your lid, and you can have it as light or dark as you want. So this side I'm going to do very, very light, and I don't even think you'd be able to see it on the video. But then on this side I'm going to do it really stark white. And this is what I wore for my first year ball, although that was a red and white color theme I was going for. And I always do a little bit of white going out from the side. Do a little bit of that in the corner, because sometimes you don't see it until you see it. So if you, for example, see a little bit of white there, you suddenly see that whole line happening. Now you can choose with mascara. As soon as you put any type of eyeshadow on, I do recommend mascara, because even though you can't see it throughout the night, little bits of eyeshadow will fall on there. Going up a little bit, so first I color them in. And then I go from the top to get more color, and then I start with a little bit of a twisty twist to curl them up. And that's it. 2 different eyes, 2 different looks for if you go out. Now, what you can do is you can definitely go that extra mile and say, okay, I do like the white now that the rest of my makeup is done. And then you can definitely say, okay, let's do this, let's make it white. You can use the silvery grey I was talking about. So let's get that little bit of silver on. And then I'm going to use close to the blue as possible. Blanche is very not business-like, but austere, just kind of down to business, and so having that little bit of grey. And there you go, there you can choose. The best thing I think is when you buy silvers and greys, try and get it as part of a different colour. So if there's a blue or a purple or a green in it, because then you can use it in different looks as well, like combine a bit of brown and green just for everyday look, or when you go out on a date. And put some lipstick on. If you go for the more bluer look, do something really subtle like this, even like a more fleshy color or brown. But if you go for this more like stark white and black look, then you can go with something bright like a red lipstick. So first I'm going to use the Star Wars lipstick, because the Cupid's bow is lined out properly, because the rest doesn't. Even if you just do that now, that's completely fine. Now, so there you have it. Team Mystic represent. Put on some nice blue and whites and stark makeup and go represent your team. Tell some of the girls to try some of these different techniques and wear it together out. Tell the guys to put on their shirts and put some Team Mystic caps on, and just go and enjoy playing Pokemon and being part of such a positive community. So I hope those tips helped. Comment below what you would like to have more in terms of makeup tips when I make the Valor and Instinct, because even if you're not in those teams, I'll still be talking about general makeup habits as well. So if you want to accessorize some more, go and check out my Etsy store, which is Pokemon bows, ribbons, Alice bands, bracelets. Even for the guys, we have some cufflinks now, and Tazo or Pogo, depending on which country you're from, necklaces. Some of them are leather, some of them are ribbon, and some tie clips even if you're going to a formal and you want to represent a bit of Pokemon or Dragon Ball Z. I have some of that as well. So let the battle for the crystal badge begin.